Sonic. Oh. So here's the deal. I feel like to some degree I have become the voice of reason behind Sonic games that get these mediocre reviews. The voice that tries to find the good in Sonic games that that just aren't well received in media. I mean, we can go back to Sonic Freeriders, where the reviewers were incapable of being able to lean left and right. And I, unlike them, was able to consider that there really aren't good Kinect games. And in comparison, Freeriders made it work better, much better, than any Kinect game ever did. Or even finding good in the experimental God of War style fighting in Unleashed. Sonic definitely likes to take risks and experiment with Sonic. And as a fan, I think we should be thankful, because even if the Werehog left a bad taste in your mouth, at least the daytime stages were some of the best speed-run Sonic levels to date. And honestly, if it was its own game, the Werehog levels weren't great on their own. But now I am faced with Sonic Lost World, and I really struggle finding the good. And that's not to say I won't defend it, but I also won't be as kind for the first time ever with a Sonic game. On the note of defense, though, I want to touch base on one thing I can defend that seems to get a lot of flack. It becomes so easy for people to take one look at this game and immediately say, "Oh, totally ripping Galaxy." And where this may be true in some ways, it's not entirely safe to say Sonic lacked creativity with level design and completely copied Mario. No, actually, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but back in the fourth quarter of 1996, a Sonic game was to be released called Sonic X-treme. The game did have many hiccups and was eventually cancelled, but the game was built much how Galaxy was later built. Sonic was able to walk towards the walls and begin to climb them, causing the levels to rotate and gravity to be altered. When you see gameplay, it really makes you see that Sonic was a little ahead of his time when thinking of Mario Galaxy. Now, I'm not trying to start a war and say Sonic had the idea first, because Mario just fixed a broken idea, but I can say with even the title of Sonic Lost World, it makes sense that the developers felt with the popularity of Galaxy, it would be a great time to pull inspiration from a cancelled Sonic title. Now, with what I am saying here, you may think I'm saying that all the rest of the ideas in the game are completely original, but yeah, that's not really. Let's just jump into the review. The game starts with Sonic and Tails trying to save a capsule full of Flickies from Eggman, Robotnik, whatever. Now, first off, seeing the capsule and the Flickies was a great throwback. But anyways, plans go wrong and Sonic and Tails end up on a planet called the Lost Hex, where Robotnik has taken control of a group of inhabitants called the Deadly Six. Using a mind control device is how he does this, and Sonic of course tries to save the day, causing Eggman to lose the device, and the group of new villains decides to go up against Robotnik. So then Tails and Sonic and Eggman, they all team up. It's a simple Saturday AM cartoon idea, but it works, and I'll admit, I enjoyed the dynamic between the three. Even some of the villains were completely likable. Minus Amy's voice. Sega, I feel like you have toned her down to make us like her more.
Did you get those animals back from Eggman?
But God, the Minnie Mouse voice, it doesn't help. Let's just save that for Cream, who no one even likes anyways. Well, maybe someone does. I don't. So let's talk first-hand experience and mechanics. First of all, the game starts like any other Sonic game with the Green Hill-inspired level. Seeing Motobugs and Choppers, it makes the game feel so classic, and it makes you feel immediately at home. So you take off running. Sonic gains no speed. He just kind of slowly jogs like his Italian competition. Now, to a degree, I get that Sonic can fly by sometimes, and trying to gain a younger audience, it may help to slow things down. But on a separate note, Sonic games to me were great because of trial and error, replaying and replaying until I got every dash, jump, and attack placed perfectly, so I burned through the level, and I felt accomplished. So taking that speed away, well, I feel like it took away the challenge that the speed presented, and it's what made Sonic unique, in my opinion. Granted, you can hold down a trigger and Sonic burns that classic figure 8 from Sonic CD, and then he can haul ass, kind of. If you take the slightest turn while hauling ass and altering Sonic's direction, Sonic quickly loses his speed and the screen is pulled forward, as you have to work all over to gain that speed back. You get punished and lose speed for trying to avoid badniks or obstacles. Which then brings me to the next handicap the game has. In old Sonic games, if you came to a wall, you just halted, and you lost all your speed, which can be frustrating. But, again, that goes back to learning the level and being prepared. Now though, Sonic will just dash up that wall or tree, making it almost pointless to try and avoid any obstacle ahead of you. I'm not saying this doesn't work well, honestly, it works great. The parkour system really can feel very satisfying unless you were trying to avoid climbing a wall and Sonic gets stuck on the wall and then just randomly runs up it. But the point I am making is I feel like the reasons I love Sonic's speed are completely taken from me. There are a few other new mechanics along with this that include a homing kick that launches enemies forward, which can be used to your benefit as a weapon. This is a decent addition I actually enjoyed, even though if you are speeding through a level, any homing attacks completely bring that run to a halt. So even though it works great, it is yet another speed deterrent. The last added feature that should have meant something due to Sonic Color's success was the color power-ups, which all suck ass. And they feel forced on just to allow you to use the Wii U's gamepad. Most don't even work well. They take less than a second to use, and honestly, they make you stop and wonder why you even slowed down to use the power-up in the first place. Now the Black Hole one was kind of neat, but the truth is, they feel like they were pushed into the game at the last minute and were never truly planned for it. Maybe if the level truly required them and required some thought to the overall platforming experience, but no, they just don't. The game does jump back and forth between 3D and 2D, and that's great if you ask me, because I always felt the 3D parts of Sonic were meant for just burning through a level and tearing everything up. Less platforming and more speed. Then the 2D parts made for the platforming and less speed, even though it was still needed. But my issue with this was I never felt the speed. The platforming was seen in both 2D and 3D, and there's nothing wrong with that because Sonic is a platformer. But at the same degree, if I wanted only that, I'd play any other platforming mascot game. Plus, one excellent part of the original platforming was focusing on collecting 100 rings to gain those lives. And for quite some time after launch, until updated, this game didn't even give you lives for the rings you gained. Hello, that is a Sonic staple. And when the game can be so damn frustrating, it'd be nice to be rewarded as opposed to constantly dying due to bland and frustrating level designs. Granted, in each zone there was one or two levels that just worked, and when I say they worked, I mean they worked well. Complete speed and no slowdown, quick reflexes, and just pure adrenaline. Or a level that was pure classic platforming, like the one on Rails. But it felt like a DK level, and it's sad to see a great level like that and know it feels like it completely belongs in another game entirely. Or let alone having 5 or 6 levels of pure no-thought, bland, unrealistic difficulty spikes due to poor design does not make up for one amazing level in a potload of crap levels every zone. But on the same note, the game is beautiful. I mean, it really is. The colors and the backdrops, they scream Sonic and they just look better than they feel. The music along with the visuals are amazing. I absolutely love the score. Granted, I miss my Crush 40, but the music, if I am correct, is the same team behind Unleashed, and it just flows and it feels so great. I feel like that's a very important part to Sonic, the music. And here it's perfect. I have nothing bad to say there. It definitely creates the illusion that you are in a great Sonic game. The voice acting is great. Roger Craig as Sonic has just completely grown on me, and it works. I do hate that Minnie Mouse Amy voice, and Zaz, one of the villains, can be a bit overdone, but I also need to realize that that was the point. As much as I would love Sonic to grow up with me, he's that perfect example of Saturday AM cartoon material, so they definitely achieved that. And like I said, the story was fun to follow. I really enjoyed seeing Tails, Eggman, and Sonic together. It was a fun idea that I think was well expanded on. It worked great. Look, the game isn't complete garbage, but it's not great. A lot of the reason it doesn't feel like Sonic is due to some Nintendo developers being on the staff. I mean, you can feel Nintendo's hand in this game, and Nintendo games work great, but not when mixed like it was in this game. Some levels really do work, like I said, and I carry those levels with pride. From time to time, I still turn on this game, and I play those levels over and over because I love them so much. But the rest just feels so out of place and rushed. Even some of the boss battles feel so uninspired when shown against some of the classic old-school Robotnik battles. Even the final battle is a clone of Sonic Colors' final boss, which I did absolutely love in Colors. But it shouldn't have been cloned, if you ask me, even if it felt a tiny bit different. It finished the game off with that feeling of complete unoriginality that most of the game carried. Even the mini-stages were painful to play. when being forced to use the gamepad. There were a few after the end boss that honestly were kind of fun, but they made no sense and felt like some developer made them and they had no place for them, so they just said, oh hey, let's just throw these in randomly at the end. Maybe it's like a Secret Mario Lost World, but truly it just feels clustered and lost. Now some may even talk about the 2 free DLCs based around Yoshi's story in Zelda, which I honestly really enjoyed, and I found as a good source of stocking up lives. But the thing is, it's just another example of a Nintendo filling in Sonic's world. I can't complain, because it was free, and being a fan of Yoshi's Island and Zelda, it was a lot of fun, but it didn't really help sell the game. The DLC can be completed under 2 minutes, and it does nothing for the overall longevity of the game. And once the levels are beat, they go away until you go play the bland Sonic levels and gain a certain amount of points, forcing players to continue their playthrough that most have probably given up on. Now I could dive much deeper, but I am wasting time and I hate long reviews. But as a Sonic fanboy, I wanted to touch on as much as I could. Seeing classic Badniks, capsules, flickies, and all that was a great throwback, and it kind of makes you feel like somewhere in the depth of Sega's minds, they know what we want as gamers. Especially playing those levels that just flowed and made you feel accomplished, jumping from Badnik to Badnik, never stopping. But like I said, those moments are faint, and they can't bring back the rest of the underdeveloped ideas in this game. There is a great hope felt when I play those levels, and I enjoy the game's story, but overall, I felt a little let down after playing such great titles like Colors and Generations. As a Sonic fan, I do recommend the game. I mean, at times you won't be screaming at your TV screen and threatening to break your gamepad. I am thankful Sonic does experiment and takes risk, because not many games change it up. The truth is, others may really enjoy this cluster fudge of a game, unlike I did, but hopefully Sonic's next outing maybe won't be as much of a letdown. So maybe next time we can talk about Sonic Boom. Maybe.
Trevor Clark has had his say to help you find good games to play. Game reviews, tattoos, and news. Poning noobs you'll never lose with